What is one of the things that people always say is necessary to attain success? It's sacrifice. You'll have to sacrifice time and effort, but are you willing to sacrifice your happiness? And what should also be scary is, what if I get everything I've ever wanted, but then that doesn't make me happy? And I'm not happy because I spent all these years neglecting everything that I loved, the people I love, myself, just because I wanted to get to this goal, get to this place that I envisioned for me. But this place that we have in our mind isn't always the ideal place for us. Now you might be asking, well, Fabian, what are you saying? I'm not saying you should go and be a full-time bum, but what I will say is that you shouldn't have to sacrifice your happiness to achieve something that you think is gonna make you happy. I truly believe that happiness is a part of the equation. If you have happiness, hard work, dedication, patience, you can make a lot of your dreams come true. Naomi Osaka is somebody who achieved a lot very young in her career. I believe like by the age of 20 or 21, she had already won 4 Grand Slams, you know? It's hard enough for anybody in tennis to win 1 Grand Slam as it is. But I watched a documentary about her a few years back, and she was talking about how like, even with all the success she's achieved, she doesn't feel very happy. And the fact that she had won so much early in her career, but it wasn't consistent every single year. Once you get this big goal you have in your mind, especially if you're an ambitious person, it just leaves you wanting more and more. And this desire and obsession, it'll make you want to ignore everything else in your life just because you're so fixated on getting this one thing. But what's the point of having all that success? What's the point of having fame if you don't have your friends around you? You know, you abandoned your friends, you abandoned your family, and now maybe you even betrayed yourself in the process. You betrayed all the things you loved. You know, you ignored all your interests because you thought that it was going to take time away from work, from training. But someone who isn't absolutely obsessed with being the best can't possibly be the best, right? Wrong. Alyssa Liu is somebody who didn't allow people to tell her how she was gonna achieve this dream that she's had. She didn't allow herself to lose herself. In figure skating, there are very strict requirements that people say you have to have in order to win. You know, you have to dress this way. You have to have this type of music. Your body has to look like this. You have to have all these crazy jumps and spins in order for you to get the most points. But something very important that Alyssa said, and that I think a lot of us can live by, is that nobody's gonna starve me. For the longest time, there was like these rules that you could not break, that it would not guarantee you the maximum amount of points. And she said to hell with that. She was gonna win her own way. She did exactly that. And if you watched her performance, you can see it in the product. You can see just how happy she looks skating. She's not all tensed up thinking, oh, I need to really land this jump. Oh, I really need to make this look like that. Something as magical as that moment only happened because she allowed herself to be happy. Despite doing one of the most stressful things you can do, which is training for an Olympics, actually performing in front of millions of people worldwide. Everyone is unique in their own way, and the way you go about trying to achieve your dreams should also reflect that. It should reflect what you truly believe in and what you love. Because one day, you'll finally have this thing that you dreamed about your entire life, but you'll look at what you had to give up in order to get it, and you'll be like, was it really worth it in the end? All those times that I told my friends, oh, I couldn't hang out, you know, all those times I had to skip out on my grandma's cookout. In life, we'll always have to sacrifice. You know, we are beings that are destined for sacrifice. But before you embark on your journey, as you aspire for great things, ask yourself, is sacrificing happiness the only way I can attain these things? If you watched the whole video, thanks for watching. I know I've been on a huge hiatus. I haven't posted in a while. Trying to remind myself like why I make these videos, and I really make them just one for myself, almost like as a video diary, and just to record, to note my ideas over time and how I feel about things. it's also to just put them out there, and if anybody resonates with them, you know, hopefully they not only click on the video and stay through, but, you know, will comment something. You know, a big thing for me has always been trying to find people that I have things in common with, or that I have like a common mindset with. It's so crazy, like how much Alyssa Liu has grown in like a matter of 2 weeks. I knew about her maybe a week or two before the Olympics started, because I'm a huge fan of the Olympics. Oh my goodness, Crow, hey! He's either giving me positive vibes towards this video or he's criticizing me. Hey, like a week or two before the Winter Olympics, I was looking at all the big names because I'm obsessed with the Olympics. I like to watch them, and I like to know about, you know, the popular people, the favorites for medals. So I look into their stories a little bit, and Alyssa Liu is always like, her story just always impressed me for the jump. It's like so revolutionary what she did, not only for figure skating, but just for sports in general. You know, I hope a lot of youth can have that mindset in their heads. I feel like there are so many talented individuals that, like, mentally it just drives them crazy, this idea of being great, and it leads them to destruction. It's amazing that she's showing kids that there's not one way to win. We gotta be like Miles Morales, you know, nah, I'm gonna do my own thing. All right, thank you for watching. Have a great one. Subscribe if you haven't already. Comment something below, and I'll see you in the next one.